What is up, everybody? Getting Excel here. We are live once again with another forced conversation with the main man himself, my partner in crime, pun intended. Please, brother, introduce yourself.
Hey, what's going on, Gideon? This is Gangster KT, and thrilled to be here with you again. A lot to talk about in Marvel Strike Force, finishing off a 3-day weekend here. So appreciate you doing this once again, and looking forward to this forced conversation.
Likewise, my man. Likewise. Before we jump into the meat, how's the weekend treating you? How's it going?
It's been pretty good. I got to hang out with family quite a bit, had some down relaxation time, doing some projects with the wife, and made sure to squeeze in plenty of time for the Black Cat trial as well. So it was a perfect weekend to have a 3-dayer, and can't complain, bud. Life is good right now, so cannot complain.
Outstanding. Outstanding. Yeah, man. Similar. We were pretty busy. I thought I was going to have a free open weekend. I think we were talking briefly. I had got people contacting me like, hey, let's go. So yesterday we went and did some stuff, hang out with the fam, had some barbecue. Wasn't intending on it, but they said let's do it. So we went and did that. My wife's working on a personal project. She's into some woodworking. So she's been really into that. So that's pretty cool. And then yeah, man. Yeah, a little Marvel Strike Force. It's good.
Heck yeah.
Good.
That's funny. My wife's doing woodworking projects too. Maybe they should be doing their own podcast about that on the side. So
We'll have to see. We'll have to see. Outstanding. Interesting. That's super interesting, man.
yeah,
Awesome. It's a small world.
that's right. That's right.
But once again, if you don't know, you gotta subscribe to Gangster KT. Here's his intel. The guy is awesome. He's amazing. Really good information for the regular player. Just really how to min-max your account, take advantage of things. So highly recommend. If you're not subscribed to KT, you need to do that. It will indeed change your life. Also, the comments are open. Comments are open. So we're asking questions, we're answering questions, or whatever it is you want to get into. KT, anything you want to add?
That's going to be my new tagline, bud. Life-changing advice from Gangster KT. That's great.
Hey, man. I agree. I think it's true.
No, I appreciate that.
Speaking of which, let's get on into the meat and potatoes. The Black Cat, the character herself, and of course the trials. I'll start off because mine's not as awesome. Main account, difficulty 7 was my max. I don't mess with wizards, so Morgan Le Fay seems to really be a key character in those controller nodes. And without her, man, it was definitely a stone wall between 7 and 8. Just could not make it happen. But 7's enough to get the unlock, so I do have the character. But that's what we were able to accomplish on the main account. We'll throw it back over to you.
All right, so I need to hear more about this. I don't mess with wizards.
No, I'm just I'm just a spiritual guy, right? I got my moral standards, and there's some lines that just don't cross. And magic and sorcery and wizards, that's my line in the sand. So I'm not happy to see Mephisto in the game.
that is very respectable. So have you not build her at all? Are you not going for Apocalypse with her and those things?
No, I did build her. That was the I don't know what I would call it. I said, okay, I built up all the other. I didn't know how hard it was going to be, right? When the Apocalypse stuff started, didn't know how hard it was going to be to actually get there. So I kept Darkhold on pause, unlocked them all, because you got to unlock the character in this game. You might need them, right?
Yeah.
Powered up the rest of the horsemen. And I said, if it gets to where Apocalypse is something I can get, then yeah, I'll bring up the Darkhold team. I thought I was going to be able to get around it, but then they showed the nodes and they were like, nope, you got to have Darkhold first to even start. So I was like, okay.
Yeah, they forced it. No question.
Forced it. I brought them up, got my Apocalypse super close to getting Big Dog.
Okay.
Super close, but I just don't use them otherwise. I just have them hanging out. And yeah, but that's what it is.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense. And you're right. I think out of all the characters in that trial, she is definitely the most important. No question. I'd say followed very closely by Doom, and then there's kind of everyone else. So that's definitely gonna hurt. But glad you're able to beat difficulty 7. How many packs were you using on that?
7. I think I just did the war one. I guess I could give it another run, maxed out, and see what I could get for a score. Maybe I do that. We still got some time. But I just put the war one on, and yeah, went through that way.
Yeah. Well, I haven't tested this a lot, but from some things I've heard and just the way these packs work in general, it really seems like they're almost neutral. That so many of them, the war one definitely changes things, but it helps you for those nowhere nodes just as much. And a lot of the rest of them, not counting the health one, where it almost seems like free points. So you might try it again with the rest of those on and just see how you do. If you can get a little higher score there, might get you an extra star. You never know.
Worth a shot. We got time. I might as
Yeah.
well make it happen.
Yeah. And I don't know about you. I'm a little crazy with this stuff, but I've just had a blast playing them. I don't, for some reason, don't mind playing a node 20 times and having little tweaks here and there with the RNG. Just really enjoy it and feel like it's a chance to really kind of theorize in the game. And I have a blast playing them. I do not expect to finish another run at all. I'm fine with where I am right now, but I'll probably still try some more things tonight again just for fun.
It's okay, man. No, I mean that's the thing. It is a turn-based strategy game, and I think once again, these that kind of thing that the people that like that stuff, they like it. You
Yeah.
want to play the. I mean, I think you had a video and you were talking about you playing chess as a kid,
Mm-hmm.
and just thinking about. I can relate. I wasn't good, but I did play some chess, a lot of chess as a young person myself. But yeah, I mean that's part of it. Is okay, trying to see the moves. What would happen if I do this? What would happen if I do that? What if I don't? What if I push? What if I pull? Right, all those things. The human mind, I think the human mind likes that stuff. I think a lot of people.
Yeah.
That's why people are attracted to mysteries and are attracted to strategy, and they want to know about history because they want to know the ins and outs, the push and pulls of life.
Yeah, that's a perfect analogy, Gideon. It's like the current day chess game for me. These trials, and here my wife just thinks I'm playing video games. I'll tell you what.
Oh man. Oh my word. So how did it go for you? How did you how did your trial go?
Yeah, so I hit these pretty hard. I when the Nowhere team came out for some reason, I just thought they were going to be that next like all around perfect team, the next Infinity Watch, the next Darkhold, and I'll say I don't think they're that anymore, even though they are great. But because of it, I went all in on them. I took them all to level 95 right away. Getting Nova to T18 was one of my first T18 investments to get him as big as possible. So I had around a 1.4 million Nowhere team, which was a huge help for it, obviously. But ended up right now, I'm in around 170th place overall.
Mm,
So I will get that top 500 reward and get that 7 yellow star black cat, and definitely put my time into it, but was able to beat difficulty 10 with all the packs on except for the 2 health packs. So feel pretty good about it.
nice.
Again, I might play it again for fun, but the only improvement I could get is top 50. And there's not a difficulty 11. I didn't realize that until last night when I was like, well, I might as well try something harder. And you can't turn it up. So everyone at the top's doing difficulty 10 with all packs turned on. And I doubt I could do it, but even if I could, it just comes down to efficiency. And those people all have 70 million accounts, 80 million accounts. Like I'm not going to out efficiency them with my 39 million account. So I know I'm as high as I'm going to be able to get. So anything else would just be for fun. So we'll see, but pretty happy with it. It was my goal and really pleased with where I am right now.
Very impressive, man. I gotta say that's incredible. Outstanding. Hats off to you, man. Hats
Well,
off
thank
for
you.
real.
Thank you.
Like I was thinking about this was a while back. I don't know if you saw the video. It was Taco Shooter, and he was having a one-on-one with Cerebro, and he asked him, it was about the Morgan Le Fay trial, the original one. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
why is there a difficulty 10? He said, when nobody is able to do it. And they said they didn't know how the game mode was going to evolve. And, they didn't want people to get bored. But now here we are with the power increase in characters, and people are able that aren't, ultra krakens, people are able to do it, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it was fun. I didn't going into it. I didn't think I'd do this well because I just don't have as many T18s as most of the Krakens and whales, and it's such a huge increase. So I thought that delta might be too big to get top 500. But again, I put a lot of time into it, so I'll take it. Can't complain.
Awesome, man. Awesome. For my baby account, we'll bookend it here. My baby account, difficulty 4 was the maximum. I don't have any of the meta characters. So you saw some of the runs where people were like, yeah, just use Doom or just use, like you said, Morgan, or you need Omega Red. And like on the baby account, I don't have any of that. So hard stop on the controller node. I think it was number 4. Yeah, the 4th node. Hard stop. I'm powering up Nakia, just trying to overpower it. But I think I'm gonna stop. I know like you said, we still got time, but I don't know if there's enough time to power up another character. I got Moonstone. I'm working on that too. And again, the whole point is just to brute force it, to power my way through. But I think I'm still going to get stuck at the next controller node, is my guess.
Yeah.
Especially since I can't keep a team of 5 alive. If those 2 survive and the other 3 are gone, then it doesn't matter. But
Yeah, and the second controller node's harder. No question. So I think that's fair. And you have such a unique perspective with your 2 different accounts. Like on your baby account, I'm sure there's a million upgrades you want to make, right? Like you have everything you can upgrade. Is it worth like spending resources just for this short term like chance to get Black Cat? Like, do you think that's worth using that many resources to try and get a character like that, or better to just save them for your other goals and then you'll get Black Cat next time around for sure?
100% better to save him. 100%
Okay.
better to save him. I was pushing just because, kind of like what we were talking about. So 8th or Secret Defenders. Secret Defenders is in Ghost Rider Robbie. Not going to invest in them. So I said, okay, I have an extra character slot. That's my mindset. I have an extra character slot. And I picked Nakia because she's on. I was already starting to work on the Wakandans anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, okay, this was a person I'm already investing in. So that was I don't want to say justification, but that's what I thought. If something was going to help, that was the route that I would go. But 100%, I would say, yeah, there's no reason to build like a team, like 5 people to get one person, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Almost no matter how good that character is, because that one person, the way the game is now, one person isn't going to change the entirety of your game. It will help in a game mode, but it won't help in the entirety of the game. And so you'll fall back, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And it's easy to forget, as we all had smaller accounts at one point and we're working and growing in the game, like how many things there are, just some of the challenges. Like I'm sure there's points where you're having to level up characters to be able to get to the next challenge level still. And maybe you're past that. I don't know, but there's just probably so many different priorities you have to look at versus, just getting that next best Crucible character or something like that. So that makes sense. But
it's interesting. It
doesn't hurt to give it another shot. You never know what'll happen if you want to put a little more time into it.
Oh yeah. So how have you found the character herself? I saw you had a video about it. I haven't had an opportunity to investigate it yet. I'm really looking forward to it. But how have you found the character herself to be?
Yeah, so I'd say it just 4 yellow star. I mean, she seemed impressive. Like you can tell she's going to be amazing. I am using her in arena now, but not. It's still hard to tell, I guess. But you can tell she's going to be great. So those 8 death proofs she get are pretty crazy, and going to be really hard to put that finishing punch on her and take her out. But I think once we get the rewards from this trial and for me, get that 7th yellow star and 4 red star, we'll definitely be able to see how awesome she is. I did not end up using her in the trial itself. I know that's something historically I've kind of done a run to get the new character, and they've been critical in getting that good score, but did not end up using her in the brawler notes here. But again, am using her at just 4 yellow stars in arena, and that'll definitely stay once we get some more stars on her here soon.
So who's your arena team?
So I've been going with the Secret Defenders at this point, and then Apocalypse. So using all of them except Doctor Strange, and then using Apocalypse in that place. I did finally get my big boy Apocalypse about a week and a half ago. So that's been a huge help, and I've been able to hold like top 10 to top 15 in arena for the past few days, without having to put a lot of effort into it, which has been a huge change from where it was. So that's been nice.
Outstanding, man. I'm happy that that's happening for you, bro. That's
Yeah, thank
good.
you. It's been
That's
a fun
good.
couple weeks. Had a lot of milestones with some T18s. That big boy got my 6 Red Star Quicksilver. So just a lot of fun upgrades the past few weeks. There's always those phases in the game, right?
Yes, sir. That's all. Ooh, you got some firepower right now. Enjoy it. Like you said, you know the big dogs are coming, but enjoy it while you got it, man.
Yep,
You know,
exactly, exactly.
persistence is key for sure. So that kind of, I guess, just brings us straight into what's going on in arena. So you're obviously you're experiencing it. You're experiencing. You got secret defenders. They're holding, keeping you
Yeah,
inside the top 20.
yeah. And I'm in a pretty old arena shard. I started right around launch, so there's some big accounts in there, and I struggle getting all my attacks in right at reset, and that's so critical for finishing in the top. So I'm usually happy if I'm top 20, top 50. So it's been nice holding closer to around 10th these past few days. And we'll see where that is once I get that 7 yellow star, if that makes a difference for me. But I doubt it will versus like the 6 and even the 5s. I think you'll be able to mirror match and win that mirror match on punch ups. But it is going to be the best arena team right now, no question.
Awesome, awesome. I'm not seeing it yet where I'm at. I'm usually on a good day, I can get up to like the low 30s.
Okay.
Um, get pushed back down. I don't know if this is indicative of where you're at, but like let's say on Tuesday through Thursday, Friday. Yeah, Tuesday through Friday, usually I'm able to push up. So I think people are less active and I can get up into the 30s. Sometimes once in a while I can see some of the low 20s. And then over the weekend, I'll get pushed down into the 50s, hot 60s. And that's just the cycle that I'm in. But I
Interesting.
haven't seen any secret defenders yet.
Okay.
I'm sure it's coming.
That is really interesting. I'd say it's the opposite, and I'm not really like an arena expert, but I've noticed on weekends I usually can hold and finish a lot better than I can during the week. But it could be my time availability too, and being able to attack around reset a little more. During the week, I usually do my 5 attacks just at night. After resets already occurred, get as high as I can. And then I just drop that next day, and then my payouts top 20 or top 50 usually.
No.
But how's your baby account doing there?
And that's where I really wanted to make the test, but I'm not going to get to Black Cat. But it's kind of similar. It's in 50s or 60s
Okay.
is where it's at, and the only difference so far has to do with Emma and who's Weaver. So Spider Weaver is still the meta on the young account,
Okay.
and it has to do with then whose Weaver goes first. So it's just all about Emma and like Cable is what people are using. Up the chain in the top 10, there is one individual, I think he was in 10th place, who was using Secret Defenders. And then the guy who's in 8th place has Apocalypse.
Okay.
So there's, I'm
Oof.
going to assume 8 Apocalypse in that arena shard at the moment. And only a couple people that are strong enough to have gotten through the Black Cat trial
Yeah.
and have the Secret Defenders. But yeah, it is interesting. It
Yeah.
really is.
It's a good time. And hopefully, eventually as it does shift and maybe not so much on your baby account, but to full secret defender mirror matches with Apocalypse. We'll see how that plays out. I sure haven't figured out how to play that match yet. And hopefully it's better than what the Infinity Watch mirror match was, a long time ago. That was just such a long match. So we'll see how it plays out, but it's going to be fun watching this meta change because it's definitely changing right now.
100%. 100%. I think it's like, I remember, I keep thinking like, the great reset, like the great reset, but I think like it's kind of happening again. Like the characters that are coming out now are kind of changing, pushing some of the bigger characters. Like, okay, so real quick. So with these characters right now, Secret Defenders, so we're getting them at like 3 and 4 stars. My 3-star Kamala couldn't take the Superman punch from Apocalypse. so the team doesn't work. I have her now at 4 stars. She can take the hit.
Yeah.
So now, just that difference in power, now it's viable. Now it's viable. And the stronger she gets, the longer, she's going to be able to last. So these are 4 star characters that are challenging, 7 stars, and people got 7 red stars on the strongest characters in the game. But I think I like that.
It's different, no question. But I'd agree. It makes them usable, right when they come out, and we get less yellow stars than what we used to on new characters. But they're making it so you can still usually use them almost right off the bat.
And then they don't necessarily overtake. Like, this seems almost perfect. They don't necessarily overtake the strongest teams. If you're kind of more of a casual person, and nothing wrong with that, but you got them at the 3 stars, you can't just jump in and overtake the arena meta. You would have had to invest and get that 4th star. Maybe even now, when people start getting the 5th, then the flip will start to happen.
Yep.
And that's
Yeah,
probably okay.
I completely agree. And I don't really see this at my level, but I'll say the one thing I do think it does, I'm a little nervous about long term. It definitely creates a little more gap between like the whales and the free to plays, because they're working at 3 stars. That's great. But the whales are still getting them at 7 stars. Right. And so, like, if you're pushing top end Crucible, you're going to hit that wall where that delta of not having 5 stars trying to go against 7 is really going to hold you back. So again, I'm not personally experiencing that right now, but that's my little lookout for this strategy they're doing right now long term. I hope it doesn't come to that, but we'll see.
Oh, that's 100%. I agree with that. There will definitely, the hard stopping point will be more in the sand. It won't be be able to wiggle around it. There'll be a hard stopping point as far as that's going. So maybe we could talk a little bit about Alliance War, since we brought that up.
So much going on in this game right now. It's like it's war. It's the teams, a new season of war. Like, yeah, all kinds of things going on. It's crazy.
It is. It's a lot. It's a lot, sir. It's a lot. But I don't know. Like, so we got teams and we got new rules, like you said, new season. You said you're a war captain in your alliance. How has this? Have you noticed even any change even with this new season of war?
Yeah, so I think, and wanted to pause and say, hey, what's up, Adam? Appreciate you joining us, man. Just saw our comment there. Um, so as far as war, yeah, I think it's definitely changing a lot, and part of it's the season. Like, mutants are more important, but with a couple exceptions, there's not a ton of new mutant teams. Like, you'll see Axemen again showing up on defenses more, maybe even X Factor. But I think the biggest thing, just these new teams coming out, really have a place in the new war meta, and it's not maybe as just like automatic counters as some of what the older teams are. There's just a lot more flexibility with them, a lot more variability. So there's a big shift, and I'd say I'm still figuring it out. It's kind of changing right now, and in the process of figuring out how to reoptimize that. But it's fun. It's nice having a change of pace there. No question.
Agreed. Adam, if you got a minute. So what we got here? You said finish top 5 every day during the Robbie event.
Good for
So
you,
I'm trying to
man.
remember the rules. I was busy, so I got my arena tax in, but I don't remember the rules of the event. Like, is that something that people could spend on, or you're just punching people in the mouth and scoring high, so you're able to get that top 5?
Yeah, it was all about where you finished in arena, and then that gave the orbs, and then the orbs are what gave the milestone points in the event. So people were going hard in arena. Adam being obviously one of them, but that's good to finish top 5 every day.
Solid, man. Solid. Yeah, I did not have that experience. I would like to know about your arena shard a little bit if you got some time. Like, what are you facing and whatnot. But quick, or not segue, but so war. With this last season, it was really weird. Like, we fought I don't want to call it a shell alliance. Like, there were people in there, but I think what happened is they were redoing their defense, and maybe they like were waiting on somebody to give the appropriate defenses, because they must have forgot. Like, there was no defense in there. So we went, we fought them. They played, but obviously we full clear because they didn't have any any defense. Um, and then the next war we fought was the opposite. The team was like it's one of the you're supposed to lose this one. They were super tough. We didn't have any super scroll, but they had a lot of 18s in there, man. Like
Mm.
it was bad. It was everything we are hitting is two taps. Didn't see any super scrolls, but I'm sure if we see face a group like that again, there'll be one.
Be a
And then
couple.
the most recent one was more even, but I didn't notice any resistance as far as at the even matches as far as teams are concerned. I don't know if I'm making sense. Like without a boss team like Black Order was,
Mm-hmm.
once you had figured the counters for the most part, you got it, and it just came down to efficiency.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's fair. There's not that crazy heroes for hire team right now, or Black Order team, like you said. Definitely can meet some tough teams with Apocalypse on them, and the safeguard right now. I think it's from Medbay. Medbay is global, but the safeguard that's on mutants that can really make those teams a lot more difficult. You can't peel off that offense up or that taunt like you need to. So it's changing, but I would agree there's not that top team. Will the new Avengers be that? Will they be the next hero for hires? It's going to be interesting. We will see. My guess is yes, but that could is going to be another big change to war coming up soon.
Oh, I think that's interesting. Look on some comments real quick. But no, I agree with you 100%. I'm curious to see. Like, I think it's weird, man. Like, so there's Infestation, New Avengers. We got Nowhere, and then they retuned A Force for War. So that's 4 war type cats that showed up in the past few months. So I wonder what's going on.
Yeah.
But we got Big Adam here. He said that he always go hard in arena. Favorite game mode. He's been playing. Woo! Since the beginning. Top 5 Secret Defenders. Top 20 is Hybrids and Horsemen. So that's what your arena shard looks like, huh? Okay. Interesting. Well, see, I didn't know. I know there's certain game modes that Mr. Potty does not enjoy that much, but I did not know arena was the main jam. Now I'm gonna have to ask him some questions.
That's a good one. Those power cores are so valuable. There's no question. So that's a good one to be good at. See, we got Jack joining again as well. What's going on, Jack? Glad to see you, man.
Boom. So Jack says, what's your opinion on the Black Cat trial? The global controller nodes were brutal. Woo.
Brutal. That's fair.
What'd you think, KT?
Yeah, overall, I thought the trial was pretty good. I'm not a fan of the way the packs are working right now, where I almost feel like they're all mandatory with the exception of the health ones. But I like the old packs better, where there was kind of just the incremental harder for each one. But yeah, I agree. The global controller nodes, and really for me, it was the 4 nodes where you use Morgan and Doom, just managing those cooldowns and doing them over and over again until one could beat it, obviously. That was the first challenge, but then being able to beat it with the cooldowns right, that it was tough, but it was really, really unique, and I thought it was great overall, but definitely challenging. So, how are you doing in it, Jack? If you don't mind typing the update there.
So Jackson, my alliance, I think I'll see what he says, but I think we had similar results. Not having one of those meta characters. Stall. We had a dude. I was trying to get him to get a screenshot or something. We have a guy in our alliance who's about our power level who has finished Dark Dimension 4, so he has Doom, and that got him. With Doom, he was able to do difficulty 5.
Okay.
He had a meta character, so he was able to do difficulty 5. So yeah.
Yeah, Doom, like pushing, trying to push harder than like where your TCP is. Doom is mandatory, like relying on him popping and getting full health again, and then using that pact where you get the extra energy so he can pop sooner. No, he is almost mandatory on those nodes, so it makes sense.
That's what we're finding. So yeah, Jack had the same thing. No Dorm, no Doom, no meta person. It was tough, man. It was tough. I don't know, Jack, if you were able to get past node 4. I don't remember. I wasn't, but maybe you were able to get past node 4. So Big Potty says 3 full clears in a row. Turn around. That's the name of the alliance. So turn around. But yeah, man, we did. we did.
That's
I said one of
impressive.
them was all minions, but
Hey, you still got everyone attacking, right?
yeah, no, that's the
It,
main thing.
it's not
That's the
easy
main
to
thing.
full clear with the way they have these rules right now. So that's impressive.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Like the teams that people put up, you're not sure, okay, is this going to be stronger or weaker? And like you said, some rooms, it's a lot stronger. People have they spawn with buffs and you can't do anything about it. You're going to take a hit. So did you bring a team that can take that hit? So Jack said he finished with 360. I don't know if I can do this. There was a video. We were trying to get him on. I'll see if I can find it real quick. Boom. I think this is the one. So it's Bendable Straws. He's saying, Jack, that with his score, same thing. So he's got 390,000 there. He thinks by the math, we'll be able to get it. We'll be able to get the unlock. That just because of the number of people that are playing, and if more people play, it'll make it better. But he believes mathematically where he's at right now, 390, we'll get him in at 50%, which you get enough for the unlock.
Yeah, I don't know if this number is accurate and there's still another day left, but I think I saw somewhere there was like 175,000 players that were at that 100,000 point level, which is when you're eligible then for the milestones or for the ranked rewards. So don't know what it takes for the unlock, but that's what the total pool is, I think.
It looks like with the milestones that if you can score inside the 50, you'll get enough shards to be able to unlock. I think the 50% was, I can't remember if it's 40 shards plus 20. There's like the extra 20 orb.
Okay.
So at least that's his contention. We were trying to get him on to talk a little bit more about the math, but that's his contention. So check the video out. It sounds legit. I'm not a math guy, so the numbers get past me a little bit, but
yeah, if it is 50% and that number I said was correct, then yeah, it should be around like top 87,000 places that would get them. So based on that picture you showed, and it's going to change before tomorrow, but hopefully Jack's in good shape there and it'll get that unlock.
Hoping so. Big Adam says, you haven't done any yet, bro.
I'm surprised he doesn't look like a procrastinator from what I remember hearing about him. So surprised to hear that.
Oh man. I think he's kind of one of the guys. He doesn't like he likes the old school legendaries. He likes the old school legendary unlock. But yeah, man, you got to get in there and get that in. Don't want to do it more than once. I agree. I understand. I shouldn't say I agree, but I understand.
Yep. I could do it 100 times, but I sure don't blame people who don't want to bang their head against the wall like that. So
no doubt. Jack says if we hit 50, it'll be close, man. It'll be close. But we'll see. It's out of control, right? It's out of my hands at this point in time. I can't get them any stronger. I think you're in the same boat. So if otherwise, the second time around, baby, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with the second time around. Oh man, no, it's good. It's good. We thank everybody for having comments.
Yeah.
But, so real quick on the war, like I just want to talk about that real fast about those teams. So that just seems really interesting to me that out of the last few patches, there's been either a war offense or war defense team, and they're look like they're like strong. They're strong.
Yeah.
Um, so do you see any trends or any patterns right now? I'm just kind of wondering about that. Is that something I don't want to say to be concerned about? That's not the right word, but again, if this is another great reset, is war being reshaped as well?
Yeah, I think it is. I'm not sure how I like the trend as far as like mutants and what Black Order were last season. I really don't like these short term investing characters. And then they're great for a month or two, and then they're back to normal. So I'm a little nervous. Like the direction's starting to go kind of more what Crucible is as far as the specific rules. So I hope they don't get too carried away there. Right now, it's not bad. These mutant ones aren't too bad, but I don't want them to continue making that more and more directed there. But yeah, I think again the characters are changing. Like you said, there's just a lot of new war tunes. Even like new arena meta, the secret defenders, they're going to be great in war. And already, the A Force, like you said, with Photon being part of that, like that team's already amazing. So it is definitely changing, and I think it's just getting less cookie cutter. It's no longer, hey, I'm gonna save my unlimited team until I see another unlimited, can use it on a mirror match, and I'm gonna make sure I use this war team on this team automatically. Like it's getting a lot more cookie cuttered. We're probably going to be having more theory involved, which is always good, but it's definitely going to be different. And I hope that they increase what the war rewards are, because I think everyone loves that like alliance focused, kick some ass together game mode. But it is kind of hard when it's almost designed to be 50-50 win-loss, and the rewards aren't that different for anything. Plus, like we're in Platinum 3. To get to Platinum 4, we'd have to win like 2 out of 3 wars, every single week for like 2 years or something. And I'm sure I'm exaggerating, but it's just like, you aren't getting anywhere where the rewards change. It's just winning and losing each time. So I do hope they change that a little bit and make it a little more valuable there.
That's interesting perspective, man. Interesting perspective. I So yeah, I'm just trying to predict the future, which I don't know if we can. But so right now without Black Order, I don't know how you guys do, but my Wakandan was supposed to be slated for Black Order, and if you didn't see one within whatever, then when it gets down to the wire and you just need to hit, then hit in unlimited with the Wakandan, if that makes sense. So now there's no Black Order. That means War Dogs stamp out that unlimited team. I saw a guy in our alliance. He posted a picture of A Force smashing a Death Seed, which wasn't something I thought of, but he did it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, okay. And then we got Nowhere, which I guess has to go towards your infestation. But then if you don't have, like, not everybody's building that. So once again, you get late in the war and you haven't seen an infestation, you can drop a Nowhere on pretty much. I mean, I know they beat Gamma. I think they beat Darkhold pretty easily as well.
Yeah, straight Darkhold, they destroy.
So without that boss team, I think that frees up your offense a bit. But like I said, I wonder what's gonna be coming. We got Adam saying he likes Secret Avengers and the fact that they can now be used on both offense and defense. I haven't paid a ton of attention to the kits. Do they seem like they're going to? I mean, all the teams now are better anyway, but do they seem like they're going to come in and be robust, to be a strong team?
Yeah, for sure. So I don't know all the info on this, but from like what I've heard, they basically were going to be a war defense team, just like Infestation was, except I think supposed to be even better. I'm sure they didn't sell a lot with Infestation being 4 reworks, so they have to make sure they can sell this team. So a pretty meta war defense team, but then they also came out and said they're going to be part of the next legendary. And so with the War Pact and Legendary, there's something where the left side of the screen when it's on gets the offensive War Packs, and then the right side of the screen gets the defensive War Packs. And if this is wrong, you get your money back. It's just what I've heard. I could be completely wrong. But so because the new Avengers were a war defensive team, but they plan on them being needed for the next Scourge Legendary. They're going to be on the left side, which only gives the war offense bonuses, not the war defense bonuses. So they couldn't make them be a war defense only team and then used in the next Scourge. So they had to change it to where their bonuses are for war offense and war defense. And so to Adam's point, they're now going to be I think they're still going to be focused on defense. Like that's going to be their main effectiveness, but very usable as war offense too. So sorry for the long explanation there, but that's
super interesting.
how I heard that went down. So
that's super interesting. Makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Tinfoil hat moment, but it makes sense, man. I mean, that if it's coded that way, that's how it's coded, man. Like, yeah, you're not going to undo the game just to.
Yeah, exactly.
Just for one team, man. Oh, we'll come right back to Jack. But Patty said they scoping themselves, man.
Very accurate. They do it best.
So Jack said, "Do you value war teams? I don't ever build specific teams for war. I just use what I have built for teams. But it seems like we won't be able to skip new Avengers because of the next legendary." That is a true statement. So again, Jack is in my young alliance. So at this point in time, war is a thing, but it's not as important. Raids are the most important. Building those teams to take on Doom is the Doom raids. Getting those 5 teams is more important. And obviously, just building teams, you're going to have whatever. If you get the newer teams, they're going to be strong enough, and that's what we've been using the war in Crucible. But yeah, my brother, you can't skip them. You can't skip them, I guess. I mean, we're probably both at the point now with our accounts, right? I don't have any exact numbers, but once you reach about the 3-month mark, you're just going to be unlocking whatever the newest characters are anyway. So as far as Mockingbird and Ronin, we're going to get those anyway. The challenge then is, do we have enough? And Tigra. The challenge is, do we have enough to reach back and build the other 2 characters in Coulson and the Thing? That's the difficulty, at least that I'm finding on the young account. Do you have enough resources to go back? Like I said, with Infestation, didn't do it. I did it on the main account to a degree just cause, but on the small account, didn't have the resources to go back. But we'll see this next go around. I'm rambling again. KT, back to.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. It's tough, and I'm going to have to build all 5 of them as well. I think Jack's comment's right. I think they aren't going to be skippable unless you don't want to get the next legendary, which depending on where you are is maybe fair, waiting for that second round. But the way that they're beefing them up too, I think they're going to be usable in every game mode. Probably not raids, but they'll find a place in Crucible as well. So if that's the case, I think they're worth building. I'm definitely planning on building them. But to your general question, I do think, if you prioritize game modes, people will typically say arena is most important just because of how valuable those cores are. And then raid second, because you're doing it every day and it's for your alliance. I think most people put Crucible third because there's less teams and the rewards are maybe a little better, although neither War or Crucible rewards are that great. And War fourth. So I think your overall sentiment's right. This team's going to be the exception because it is for Legendary. But in general, you want to prioritize like your arena, your raid, your Crucible teams, and then they kind of are what they are for your War. And War is one of my favorite game modes, so I hate saying that. I used to build for War specifically, but with the resources now, I just can't. I have to focus on the other modes that are more important and then make the best out of War that I can from there.
That's interesting. We'll have to talk about that more, man. You got a different perspective probably than many. We'll have to talk about that sometime. Jack says 150 days with about 7.3 million. I don't remember where I'm at. I think we're close to each other. You're stronger than me right now. If you're at 7.3, you're stronger than I am.
That's pretty amazing for 150 days. That's Scopely must be making it so it's a little more, getting a little more plentiful as you're building accounts up, and being able to get a little stronger faster, hopefully.
Yeah, I think you get like, so think about the amount of orange gear that you have, the amount of orange orbs and whatnot that you get. That starts to happen relatively soon. So let's say same thing about that 2 or 3 month mark. So then you're just, if you can unlock the character, you can get them geared. It's just, can you unlock them? And then Jack might have said it. Yeah, he said it earlier. The gate. I agree with what he's saying here. The gate seems to be training mats, especially. Like that's the. I have tons of gold. I got gold falling out everywhere, but the training materials, you can only level guys up so far every day. That seems to be the gate. But once they get the level, the gear is there. I got tons of orbs I can open if I don't have it, but it's just getting them down the line, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. And that's, I've always felt like the way I control my training mats, and then this is going to sound crazy, but it's by how much gold I spend in the supply store. Because in general, you get more gold than training mats for leveling. But if I'm buying those T18s in the supply store a lot, I may be spending more gold and actually have, surplus of training mats. And then I'll kind of back off on my spending in the supply store so I can be leveling more. And that's how I've tried to control that. But with a account where you're newer and leveling up everyone, you probably aren't buying those T18s for 400,000 gold in the supply store. You're using that to put 30 levels on someone. So it makes sense that training mats would be your bottleneck then, if all your gold's going to leveling.
Jack said he spent early on a time heist. I'm interested about that. The rest have been mostly free to play. Do you think that, did you get a big boost with the time heist? Did that put your account in, like, I don't even know what I'm trying to say. Did that really put your account in contention to bring you up to the end game? Well, he's meditating on that. Speaking of end game, Dark Dimension 6 preparation. Who are you taking to the party, KT?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to pull up my versed favorites on here for my cheat sheet to be able to tell you. But in general, I've kind of had a different approach than what a lot of people do. I've really focused on taking up my best characters to G18 or T18 first, which, like, doing Nova, who's not going to be needed till the end of it. But I wanted to have Nova T18 for the next 6 months before I got to that point. And that really then paid off with this Black Hat trial and needing Nova. So I'm not going fully in order, although I definitely do worry about the order and try and make sure I have my globals done first. But yeah, I think the guys I have done right now, I have Quicksilver, I have Kang, I have Black Widow, I have Nova, and I have Red Hawk. So out of my first 5, only 2 of them are actually for the global nodes. And that's, again, different than what most people do. Those are the characters I wanted big. And then I did start, Black Widow because she's global. So did her as well. So Captain America is close behind. Apocalypse is close behind. So I'll be able to start global by the time I have the first 2 nodes done, probably. And then I think the Secret Defenders. I think overall they're definitely in my plans. Miss Marvel, Robbie, and Photon, all 3 of them, and Black Cat. So all 4 of them I plan on taking in as well.
Interesting. So you started. You got 5 characters. You started already?
Yeah, I've beat the first node, and I'm like 2 attempts into the second node. But I've had the absolute worst luck on mutant gear. Like, it's not showing up in my stores. I'm not getting it on the orbs, the T18 orbs, and so I still haven't been able to get Apocalypse yet. And he's such a cheat code for those first couple nodes, and so it's taking me a little longer. But hopefully in a couple weeks I'll have him, and it'll speed it up a little bit.
Outstanding. Small segue. We'll go back to Jack. He said he got the first couple from the time heist. First couple up to level 50. All right. How do you? I am curious. How did you believe that impacted your account? Probably did you get gear and stuff for those guys? Like, I'm really curious about that.
Yeah, that was a big initiative from Scopely, that time heist, and putting that out as like a catch-up mechanic for newer players. And It is interesting to hear how that worked and if it helped.
No doubt, no doubt. I'm genuinely curious. My Dark Dimension 6, again, I'm always of that mindset that it's not even something I can do. It's a year before I can do it, and then like, oh, I can bring somebody up to 18. So I think it was Pathfinder who had a video. He was talking about Apocalypse being amazing. You got to bring him. Val is going to carry through that section, so you got to bring Val. And then, like you said, Secret Defenders, Photon is cheap. 2 gear pieces or 18 pieces, I think he said. And that kind of got me thinking. I'm like, hey, I can do that. That's not out of my reach. I was already working on Kang, so I don't have anybody ready to go yet, but I'm 2 pieces away from Kang. I think I get 2 of those. I don't know what the piece is called. It looked like vials.
Yep.
A day, just within orbs. I get like 2 of them. So whenever I get enough to put those last 2 pieces on, he'll be ready. I need the Astral Essence for Apocalypse. 10 more of those. Otherwise, he's ready. I think similarly, yeah, I'm still working on Photon. I got her main piece and just need the edges. Some more of those. They're like syringes and multicolored something. But I don't have anybody ready yet. Those 3 are the closest. I do have Quicksilver pretty close because I was working on him. And then it's open.
Yeah.
It's open after that. I'll have to start investigating, like you're saying, the global section more carefully. Maybe Black Widow is a great option. She's cheap. Black Widow?
I think she was three of the T8 pieces, maybe just 2. But I really sense a rework like her for other game modes as well. So that's one of the reasons. And she's skill. I think that's one of the most important things. So she's cheap because she's skill.
Okay. Oh, that makes a ton of sense.
But
Makes a ton of sense.
I'm so excited for you to have a T18 Kang Gideon. It like changes the game. I don't know how to explain it. The T18 is a 32% increase to every stat. Like it's bigger than any other single increase that we've ever had or that you can get in the game, and you notice it. Like you'll get Kang T18, you'll do a battle, and then you're gonna want all your guys T18 like as fast as possible. So it's pretty crazy.
I do get, I don't want to say hard stopped, but like in arena, it's not an 18, but it'll be like a 7 red Kang. And so you got Apocalypse, Red Hulk, 7 red Kang. So it's like 2 time bombs. If the Kang uses his ultimate, I lose. If Red Hulk uses his ultimate, I lose. So if I can equalize some of that out with a tier 18, I don't have 7 reds on them, but if I can equalize some of that out to tier 18, I would definitely be happy for that.
Yeah, you'll feel it. It's a nice one, no question. And your overall strategy is right. I think in general, this Dark Dimension, it's almost like 2 or 3 characters carry each node, and who you have for the 4th and 5th, like it may save you a day or 2. But in general, it's more about like making it a character worthwhile in another mode, or just making it a really cheap character to get you through faster. And then you can, get all the rewards once you finish it once and bring in the characters you want the next time. So I think your strategy makes sense.
Hey, just listen to the guys who came before.
That's right.
So Jack said the only benefit he got, no, said the only thing is slightly benefit. Gave some Kree minions for Fury because the characters were not good, which I think that's true. That makes a lot of sense. So hey, once again, a little plug for the player's voice. That's one of those things you got to go in there and talk about because there's people, some of the people, right? It's in good faith. They're not being malicious, but if you have people who are like end game players who are trying to reach back with their knowledge 5 years, those recommendations are not good, if that makes sense, right? So people that say, hey, they need more Hawkeye shards. No, they don't need more Hawkeye shards. They need either like an experience boost or, like you're saying, more gear that they could use to put on the characters that are more current. I think that's what'll speed your progress up, and not dropping 50 characters on you that you're not going to use.
Yeah, if someone's spending 50 or $100 to do a catch-up mechanic, like they should be able to play for a couple months without hitting a new bottleneck. You know, like you don't want them to do that and then just immediately be up against new bottlenecks and like that's not what you want when you spend money like that. So
I agree. So Jax, I think what you're saying is if you spend $100, that should max you out. That's like that should be the complete time heist. Is $100 a person? Is that? I think that's what you're saying. Is that what you're saying? That if a guy just drops a Benjamin Franklin, then he should get all the pieces of the time heist and reap the benefits. Perhaps. But yeah, again, I always do the plug for the player's voice, but you got to go in there. And if you're as a normal person, you can't be afraid. Like we could talk about this another time, KT, but I got into a big one, man. I got into a big one, but you can't be afraid to argue with those guys, man, because people they just don't know. It's not malicious. It's not malicious. It's just they don't know. So they don't understand what you're playing as a new player. They might not understand what you're playing as a free-to-play player. And so you have to make sure that you explain. You can't, it's just a life lesson. You can't back down because someone is bigger necessarily, but they don't understand.
yeah.
Right. They're speaking and trying to defend their spot, which is fine, but they're doing it out of ignorance and not in a bad way. It's just they don't know. So you have to help them understand.
I don't think Krakens would enjoy the game if all that played the game was Krakens, right? You become a Kraken so you can beat up on everyone else, and they earn that. Not only are they spenders, a lot of times they're the best players in the game too. But you know, you need all levels to be successful. You need like the whole MSF community and player base to all enjoy it and do well. And hang around. And you're right. Like sometimes from the top, you just don't see those same vantage points. So keep fighting the good fight there, man. It's hopefully helpful for the overall community, which helps Krakens as well in the long term.
Open soul. So Jack said, yeah, he thinks that should be the price, and it costs $400 right now. Woo!
Wow, that's a
And
lot of
not
money,
even
especially for someone that's probably newer to the game. And you know, if you've invested a couple years in it already, that's one thing. But spending that after playing a couple weeks or something, whew, be tough.
I don't even know if that's going to catch you up. Like, not right now. Like, you get to level 85, but you don't have the. I mean, it'll catch you up in raids, but like,
Yeah.
not nothing else. Woo! So my guy, that might bring us. We're almost an hour in, so that might bring us to the end. Is there anything else that you wanted to talk about?
I have one other important thing I do need to bring up. And is Adam in your big account alliance?
Yep, Adam's an
Here?
endgame
Okay.
player.
So not sure if he's still on here or not, but man, huge congratulations to you guys for beating Incursion 1.3. Um, or maybe 1.4. I'm forgetting which one it is, and we've been switching to get some first time rewards for people, but the one that you have to hit 90% to get, because that is getting through, you know, almost half the tech nodes. And that is just a huge achievement. My alliance has not gotten that yet. We're still, again, I think I'm 1.3. I may have the wrong number here. But just want to say huge congratulations to you guys for that, because that's a big deal. Like, that's a big milestone in this game.
It happened, bro. He's a captain in the alliance over there. It no, man, it was. I said it's a group effort. It's a group effort. Like, I think everybody you have to smoke those two of the tech nodes for sure. Everybody, every lane, and then if you can bust through and get to the boss, we had a couple people that were able to get in there and get to the end boss. I didn't get a chance to face him. I wanted to, but they had him crushed before I got there. I think those nodes are harder than the boss is, if that makes sense. Like,
For sure. Not even close. Yep.
So I was hoping. I haven't even seen it yet. I'm like, oh, we're getting through. I want to see. I didn't have any energy. And by the time my energy respawned, somebody had him beat already, man. But yeah, it was cores and revives and
Yep. Yeah. Again, just wanted to say congrats, because that's I'm jealous. You guys are getting more of those T18 orbs now, and again, that's a pretty big milestone because of how hard those tech nodes are.
We got it done though, man. They made it happen. We'll see how it goes. The boss is already calling for like 100%. I'm like, dude, he already put the date on the calendar. This is when we're going for it. So maybe we can
Gotta
get
have a
him on
goal.
in one of these times.
Gotta have a goal.
100%. 100%.
Yeah,
Well,
this has
hey,
been a blast, bud. Appreciate it.
100%, man. Thank you so much for taking the time out, and thanks everybody for coming through.
Yeah, good
So
luck to everyone on those last pushes on Black Cat, yourself included. And also just wanted to thank Jack and Adam. It's fun talking to you guys on here. So really appreciate you guys joining us and commenting, and that makes this a lot more fun. So thank you. No, I'm not in
100%.
Alliance, but feel like I'm starting to get to know those guys a little bit. So that's good.
They're both good dudes, man. They're hard players. They're good. I'm glad to be around them. Glad to be in groups with them. 100%. But yeah, hopefully everybody take care of themselves. We'll see what happens. We're trying to keep this on a bi-weekly basis, but real life happens. Well, we'll see what happens. We might be having a special guest next time. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But hopefully you guys are enjoying your day. Enjoy your families, man. Take care of the more important things. Once again, KT, anything else to say?
That's good. Hope you enjoy the end of your weekend too, and appreciate you having me as always.
100%. You guys take care of yourself. Peace out.
All right. See you guys.